Turn to Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and I think I'm going to Phoenix City today, if I recall correctly, and I kind of don't recall correctly. Or at least I suspect I don't. I also need to remember to give Flaffy this magnet, now that I remember to pick up the items off of the other Pokemon that we caught. I think I mentioned it, but the Ralts has a Twisted Spoon, which is now attached to Baltoy, so that way it can do better damage with Psybeam. I have a feeling that eventually I may want to substitute it for Ralts, but we'll get there when we get there. Blech. Anyway, here we are in the nice, fancy-looking city. Congratulation? What are we being congratulated for? Exactly the 1 millionth visitor to... I think that's bullshit, personally, but hey. Well, hey, cool. We got some CDs for some reason. Aren't these TMs? Because aren't TMs just kind of supposed to be CDs? The Realgam Tower. Yeah, I remember that place. Are they sending me away until I... But I don't want to. No, for some reason they're making you do this side quest, aren't they? Members only. They're gonna tell us to go fuck ourselves, aren't they? As often happens. And here they are, Trudley and Folly. I don't know what you're expecting to happen out of CDs, like... They can't produce flesh, you fools! Otherwise, the only thing you could possibly get out of those would be, like... Porygon. I mean, Porygon's alright, but do you want to have a party of just 6 Porygons? They'll never be able to evolve them. They don't have friends. They don't know what an upgrade is. They don't understand what a hyphen is. Oh, you too, huh? Well, that's, I told you it was really suspicious when we got given these gifts for some reason. I assume it's probably not very healthy to use them, but that won't stop me from doing something very silly. Oh, yeah, there's an item there. Wow. Neat, a Carbos. Hooray! Pills that we can feed our Pokemon to improve their abilities. Performance-enhancing drugs, perhaps. Ah, yes, of course the old man likes bingo. Wait. Oh, here, we'll heal even though we don't need to. Why is this place built like this? This is a strange choice. Oh, this guy's got TMs for sale. Got Hidden Power, Blizzard, Hyper Beam, Light Screen, Protect, Safeguard, Thunder, Reflect, Fire Blast. I don't know. I don't know that many of those are actually all that good. I mean, a couple of them are quite strong, but they're very inaccurate, so I don't know that I would rely on them very much. Maybe I would pick up Fire Blast for Flareon, just that way I could have something that could annihilate enemies in a hilarious manner. Ah, yes, love that lag the emulator gives us all the time here. Got an Ultra Ball. Haven't seen the mayor in a while. Well, Ah, yes, look at all these gambling machines. They would absolutely not have these in a Pokemon game anymore. Because they gotta comply with... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to punch my mic like that. Oops. They gotta comply with, like, EU gambling laws and stuff. I think it's the EU, but... There's a couple of territories where they have to just had to just mangle certain parts of the script way back when, in order to hide the fact that you know, in order to try to hide that it was a gambling location. EU sanction. Oh, dang it! Yeah, exactly. Can't play Clover Pit in the EU. Yes, we can continue to make fun of the Balatro decisions, as always. Peggy 18 plus for Pokemon. You know, those game corners. Okay, can we actually buy more of these battle CDs? Although, for that matter, I mean, what the hell do we... Yeah, we got a couple more of them we can pick up. I suppose I should actually demo these a little bit. I'm aware, at least, of the basic ideas here. That these are sort of like little self-contained challenge battles. Oh, the soundtrack for the Ore games is very good. I already liked Coliseum. I think the one for Gale of Darkness is a bit of an improvement. You're giving me some very goofy titles for some of these game. But let's check them out. Let's check out the battle CDs and see what we're dealing with here. Oh, hey, look, it's Tropius. Unfortunately, they're not giving me any ice moves for this, I don't think. Battle CDs nuts. Thank you, Roundy. Incredible. Every once in a while, you think you've heard every D's nuts joke that exists, and then this guy comes in. And our Pokemon is a Pidgeot, which Iron Fury will be absolutely gutted by that, but I digress. Let's start off with a Feather Dance, because debuffing our opponent is rarely a bad idea. Plus, we're already faster than this thing. What the hell do we need agility for? So here's where you can learn something pretty special about the move Gust. And by special, I mean, honestly, you'll rarely put this to use. But it can hit enemies who are in the air during fly. Holy crap, we didn't even get hit. Oh, I have to kill it in like 2 rounds. That's... I gotcha. I can't take my time. Okay, fair enough. Good to know. Let's try that again. We can just be a lot more aggro here. But basically, a lot of this system is to teach you some more obscure mechanics that exist for certain moves. Which, I think it's neat that they give you something like that because, oh boy, Pokemon battling is one of those things where it's like, okay, you think you know the surface and you think you know that there's a lot of wild stuff you can do. And then you get into some of the weird edge cases, and it's just like... It's kind of a lot. Put it nicely. So we'll go for double edge to start with for what should actually kind of be optimal damage. Because, yeah, otherwise Gust is only like a 40 power or something. It's like on par with the moves that your Pokemon start with, so... But when they're flying, I think they take... I think the power is even doubled as well, but... I could be wrong about that. So don't necessarily quote me on any of that. Congratulations, you got a super potion. I mean, hey, why not? If these things have item rewards, it might be worth it to actually kind of dig into the rest of these. Okay, let's see what this is about. This isn't an era where we have foul play, so it's not going to be something like that. Send out Drowsy. We got ourselves a Wartortle. Ooh, all right. It's counter and mirror coat stuff, huh? Let's go with... Oh, I called it wrong. Now, surely this guy's going to, like, change his moves regularly, right? Yeah. So we can pick this back up. Yeah, this one is probably more of like recognize the patterns a little bit. That you can see the moves going back and forth here. This should probably get us the win, I think, because... Ah, so close. I was just basing that off the amount of damage that we dealt overall. His Drowsy does some goofy schnoz animations. I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's got kind of a long nose, sort of. That definitely looked much more like trunk length at that point. More than expected, basically. Oh, yeah. Didn't have the bot on. Whoops. And we get ourselves a super potion. Once again. Well, hopefully the higher rank ones are a little bit more, a little bit more impressive, but we'll find out. Because the heck with it, I'll do all of these. Alright, when they're locked into moves, huh? As my opponent definitely has the better Pokemon by a wide margin. I can just tell you that one right off the bat here. Vileplume and Skarmory in particular. Oh, we're in 1v1 territory here, huh? Curse? I'll switch Ludicolo in here. Because it should take a lot less damage than Quagsire should from Solar Beam. Although that's still not exactly nice. Let's be honest here. Okay, I think I understand how I'm supposed to play around this. And I kind of screwed up here because I didn't realize I'd necessarily be faster than Vileplume. Although I guess it's very easy to draw that conclusion on one's own, right? So I think I need to... take a reset on this one. Yeah, we're gonna take the reset here. Because, yeah. Oh, now you fucked up, etc. Let's try that again. Just abuse the heck out of Dig here, as we need to. And he's sending out Skarm. We are going to want to switch here. I mean, almost for sure we can't really damage this thing worth a crap with our our current loadout here, but he's got to be spamming fly, right? Oh, sky attack. Okay. And thankfully our pineapple is faster than this weird metal bird. And dive actually does all right damage. Yeah, this little section of the music, I can't explain it, but I get kind of like slightly Sega Saturn Dreamcast vibes from that a little bit. I don't know, maybe our choice of Pokemon in background is also helping us, but something very Sega-y about the way that bass was going nuts. Anyway, that time was much easier. And we get a Great Ball for it. That is a little bit more helpful than a Super Potion, probably. Let's see what we're doing with this Plusle and Minun one. As we're up against a guy named Basin. That's just a word. You guys goofed slightly by making this fellow's name just a word. Miltank and Tropius. And let's get a quick look at what our Pokemon are looking like here. Okay, yeah, that one's a little bit faster. A little bit stronger. But Minun is a little bit more defensive, I guess. This one's timid nature. What's the item? A magnet. Okay. Oh, you just have offense-oriented moves. I was thinking that for sure you were going to be, this was going to be a helping hand scenario. Oh, that could be rather painful. Yeah, that just straight up killed us. Okay, so what did you actually want me to do here? Was I supposed to roll the dice on Thunder on that? Because I guess that would have worked, but unless the stats are randomized between each one. I don't know why they would be, but hey. Yeah, same HP stats. Let's take a look here. Yeah, same actual stats as well. All right, let's try it. Well, we got the animation, so we actually landed the hit. That's great. That's That's fantastic, even. And we set up Rain Dance, so now we can guaranteed land Thunder next turn. Although, I suppose my question is... the Helping Hand is still... increased priority in this era, right? Yeah! So, it's not usually explained what Helping Hand does, but it does buff a move. It's just that how exactly is a little bit of a mystery. So I'm going to look it up and confirm for anyone who's curious. That in this era, will increase the damage done by the user's ally this turn by 50%. And that is the way that it works in all cases. Starting in Gen 5, it's used multiple times in a turn, all targeting the same Pokemon to boost their cumulative. I gotcha. But in Terra Raids, it's not. That's actually kind of stupid. Anyway, good to know. I don't think that's really explained properly anywhere. And we get an antidote. Wow. Oh, do you have something more to say there? There's not new ones available. Oh, there are. Okay. Cool. Heck with it. Let's keep padding out our collection some. Sure, I'll just sit here and get distracted by our thing here. Machamp's Macho Romp. The stronger the foe, the hotter it gets. Be careful how you word that, Genius Sonority. Come on. As we're up against Aggron, who is doubly weak to fighting despite having a massive amount of defense. So we might be cleared to just do whatever. Okay, we got Brick Break, Earthquake, Swords Dance, and Foresight. Let's Swords Dance up. I have a feeling that we may want to use that Brick Break at some point in our future here. Earthquake? I think is actually lower damage accounting for same type attack bonus, but we should be safe there. No, we're not. Never mind. Okay, then. I didn't even notice that we were so low level. That is the lowest level Machamp I think I've ever seen. Can you get a Machoke that's level 20 or lower in any of the games? I mean, not counting glitching. Obviously, that exists. So, yeah, 3 swords dance in a row and just go for the biggest hit we can muster here. Easy at counter, and then I'm assuming... Oh. Oh, that's an issue. Oh, right, we can earthquake when they dig. And that would do double damage. Of course, though, we're slower than a level 50 Aggron for reasons that are unsurprising, even though that thing is slow as hell. Yeah, so this is just like hash out the pattern slowly. One, two, and 3. Yep. Again, not a thing you see very much because you don't see a lot of dig, but it's very good to know. Not only do you do damage to an enemy underground when you use Earthquake, but you do double the damage to them. So we definitely annihilated that Aggron. And we get a Great Ball. Kecleon and Hitmonchan. Alrighty. So, Aerodactyl is just obviously going to be faster than Hitmonchan. So, Ancient Power and go for... Oh, actually, this is kind of awful, really. So instead we're going to go Wing Attack, and we're going to have Hitmonchan use Mach Punch. Because we'll take our priority and get our, like, 18 damage or whatever. Kecleon becomes Fighting type. Wing Attack goes in for even more damage that is super effective this time. And Aerial Ace to take down Hitmonchan, unfortunately. See, at bare minimum, it is, like, slower than hell, so that much is working out in our favor here. We can then send Hariyama. So right now, it is Flying type. So we're going to throw some rocks at it with Ancient Power, and then I'm going to hope that Vital Throw, basically that it's going to target Aerodactyl first. Yes. All right. Perfectly chosen. So I guess we get Girafarig out on the field immediately. It's a later generation where they changed it, so that way Pokemon aren't sent out until end of turn. But Vital Throw should be big damage. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, now, Girafarig, go for Psychic. And Hariyama, you can do Vital Throw again just to keep the speed tiers the same. This should do more than 12 damage. Kecleon is more specially defensive, but also come the hell on. Not by that much. All right, Battle CD13. Let's see what's going on here. But also, first of all, I'll be right back. Yeah, game, that's a good question. What is Porygon anyway? Let's see what you've got for us, game. trace own tempo. And it says to change types, so conversion changes to the type of one of our moves, apparently. And we are noticeably faster than Spindo, which is not hard to do. I mean, it doesn't have stats, really. So we're going to sharpen a couple of times for fun here. And then throw this out. How about I sharpen you? Wait. That's an Earthbound reference. A very odd one, but... what else is new? Cool. What else do we have? We're throwing a level 5 Rattata against this guy's level 100 Shuckle, apparently. Start off with Toxic, although we probably should be starting off with Substitute, but, you know, just poke at this a little bit. And he's throwing up Bide. Substitute. We're also still faster than this guy, despite all of that. I thought for sure that Bide was... that it had higher priority, rather. So honestly, we could just as well have started off with Super Fang and then gone for Toxic and then Substitute and then just kind of gone from there, but let's see what happens. I wouldn't be threatened by Shuckle anyway, honestly. Even if it had real moves, I don't know that it would have that much damage. Oh, they've got even more new ones. All right. What do you got? 25, 26, and 30. Well, sure, why not? Wait, what were we supposed to be doing? They're good at heckling, too. Right. All right. What do we got in store here other than a Houndoom involved? We got Salamence, Dusclops, and Houndoom on our side, and they've got Wobbuffet, Bayonet, and Wynot. Ooh, is this going to be some Shadow Tag horse shit? Surely. Oh god, why is Salamence's moveset like this? What the fuck? Why? You're kidding me, right? Alright, let's Shadow Punch this thing. Oh, that does nothing. Yeah, speed is not dynamically updated in this generation, so... we do kind of have to... if I want to burn Wobbuffet, which is probably a good idea, in order to prevent it from safeguarding, in order to, well, prevent having to deal with its horse shit, I've got to slow that thing down a bit, I think. Unfortunately, I don't think Imprison is going to do us any good right now. Alright, be careful to, I guess, not target Wynot because it will take more damage from this. Meanwhile, I don't know what actual... yeah, I was going to say, is Wobbuffet going to try to do special counter or physical? And Shadow Punch would do more damage. I can almost assure you of that. In fact, we're going to go in for another Shadow Punch here. Because I'm sure that it'll call this attack type correctly, and I don't want to... I want to do more damage, basically. Oh, no, he's just mirror coating. Oh, what? I'm time limited to 4 turns here. Oh, boy. Get advice? I mean, that's true, but I was hoping you'd tell me something helpful. Yeah, because, like, otherwise, what do I do about that? Dusclops is too slow to status. To use status, rather. Okay, well that has off Wobbuffet, but unfortunately Wynaw is coming out, and that has Shadow Tag also. They just use Mirror Coat, though. I get the idea of, like, switch out by using special attacks. But... or by using counter damage. But that's still unimaginably slow. Like, you're kind of being ridiculous here, man. All right, here, let's go for Shadow Punch and the Bayonet. So I guess that our best bet then is to just Ice Beam into Wobbuffet until we die from it, which is not going to be very fast. Because, yeah, we don't do a lot of damage. Oh, it's... Okay, I looked it up and I realized that, yeah, I didn't think through something kind of fundamental here. As the only way for us to actually get enough time involves, we have to kill our own Salamence, which actually kind of makes sense, but that is still pretty stupid. That is such a bizarre thing to ask for, actually. I guess they're not kidding about tagging it as hard, but... Yeah, no, I gotta admit there, I kind of got. That's my own fault for not thinking about that. It's alright, Ments. You have done your job for now. So, it's time to die! Well, thank goodness that's a one-shot. Even off of Dusclops' special attack, which is not good if I recall correctly. Like, give that a whole Fantano graphic. That is how not good it is. Meanwhile, we just crunch the ghost. That should be a one-shot. Yeah, that's a one-shot for sure. Oh, yeah. Get that shit out of here. And then we just go all in with things that these guys are weak to. Because, yeah, they've got crap loads of HP, but they're remarkably frail. Which, of course, is the point. They're supposed to optimize their damage they take. Because they have one gimmick. And it's, quote, being a bad Pokemon. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I misread my cue cards horribly here. Anyway, now that that's done. Now I feel like a real idiot, but... Wow, and we get an awakening for that. That's the level of reward I think I deserve, really. All right, what are we dealing with here? What do we got? What do we got? What are we? We got 2 Vigoroth. Vigoroth? Okay, you've got some stuff going on here. So I'm guessing the way we want to do this, because Ninjask is obviously, like, way too fast for us. But we should be able to outspeed the Clefable, taunt the Ninjask, taunt the Clefable, pardon me, encore the Ninjask, which ended up not doing anything. Oh well. However, the taunt works on Clefable. And yeah, I can't Cosmic Power. So we'll try taunting the Ninjask then? And then just go in on attacking it. Oh, I could probably have stood to use Encore instead there, but I don't think I knew what it was going to do. I clearly did not, so let's do this. Oh, I was expecting you to go for... more protect stuff. Oh, gross. And the taunt wore off, so we've got to do a quick reset here. So yeah, I didn't see what our turn limitation was, to be honest with you. I should probably have paid attention to that, but let's run that back here. So, knowing that the Clefable has Cute Charm as an ability tells me something very important, because due to the fact that the Pokemon Company International are homophobes, Cute Charm only works on opposite gender Pokemon. Somebody's gonna get mad at me for saying that, aren't they? Well, it's a joke. Grow up. You spineless corporate simp. In this case, simp may be short for simpleton, but I digress. So, the male Vigoroth uses Facade on Clefable, and the female Vigoroth uses Taunt. Ninjask is going to protect. And we're going to chunk Clefable for a little bit of damage there. Can't use Cosmic Power anymore. So this one will actually make me go look at the stats just because I'm curious, basically. They are identical. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So why don't you Facade into Clefable, and the other one can Encore the Ninjask. Now, truth be told, I should probably spend both of my... I should probably, like, re-taunt the Clefable, but I don't know if its taunt is worn off. So... yeah. Since it's 2 to 3 turns, and they don't necessarily... I don't know if they always tell you if it's worn off or not. So we'll find out. And yeah, okay, so it's only a 2-turn taunt for some reason. Because of reasons, I guess. Sod taunt. Yeah, see, your Ninjask's Encore is still ongoing. So it gets to sit there and waste turns. Meanwhile, we get to re-taunt the Clefable. And out comes Ursaring. Being the old classic Cocaine Bear. And I guess we will dump 2 Facade into Clefable. I don't know what the Ursaring does yet, so on the other hand, it will probably be useful to, like, actually learn how to do this fight, basically. Cute Charm isn't a concern because that Clefable is dead now. And he's EQing. That is not great, to put it mildly. Encore would be a really bad idea. But I don't know that Taunt is going to actually be helpful either, so... Thank goodness our Facade is doing enough damage to two-shot it, so... Oh, never mind, apparently. One of you is really not holding up your end of the bargain. What the hell? Because I didn't see that one was a crit either, which is the part that makes it even wilder here, but hey. Let's try this again. Okay. Back at it. And Facade that. And Taunt. Facade Clefable, and Encore Ninjask. Truth be told, I'm not sure I'm even worried about a +6 Ninjask using only Leech Life. On the other hand, yeah, so let's go with Facade. Just do 2 Facades, really. I think aiming both in the same location would actually have been smarter, but I don't know if there'd be a retarget effect because of the Clefable spot being then filled with a big grouchy bear. I almost said crouchy. What the hell does that mean? It means I don't know how to use words properly, apparently, but I digress. Oh, see, that one was a crit. I actually saw that one that time. Oh god, are there random crits set for this as opposed to them being locked? That seems like a very stupid idea. Yeah, see, that's like a pathetic amount of damage for +6. It's because Ninjast's attack is balls and it's using fucking Leech Life. And it's not even like the cool late generation Leech Life that does good damage. Well, that was rather dumb, but we got there. We get a white herb. That is unfortunately consumable, so I don't think I want to use that. What do we got? Okay, we got 2 more. We got Slacking Pair, apparently. Or oh man, I think switching one out would probably be the smart idea. In order to get a little bit of a foothold going here. Got Double Edge and Shadow Ball. Tell me about these guys. Got Choice Band, Choice Band. These two are identical, aren't they? Yep. And Explode knows nothing but Roar. Awesome. This fight feels like it kind of sucks, actually. Just gonna say that right now, cause oh boy. Yeah, see, now we're gonna have some loafing happening here. I didn't even see what the other Pokemon was. And Explode forces a switch. Bringing in Dusclops. Ah, you're choice banded. Now we pivot the other slacking back in. Because it should be... It should be truant on the turn where the other one is not now. Or other way around. You know what I'm saying, probably. So we can Shadow Ball Dusclops, and that should be an instant kill, basically. Because, yeah, slacking is really strong. Meanwhile, slacking number A is loafing around. I just said number A for some reason. So now I get to fuck around like this for a few turns. And yeah, that's completely useless, as we've figured out already. Alright, and now we pivot, slacking in. And this one can go ahead and waste a turn. Because that's kind of where we're at right now. And swap Exploud in to break the focus band, pardon me, choice band. And here comes Egg Bomb. Rude. Oh, god damn it. I'm on a fucking timer. Oh. All right, let's try this again here. Okay. Make a switch, and I guess you're just going to waste a turn, dude. This, by the way, demonstrates why slacking is kind of unplayable. Because, okay, it's really strong, but its ability fucks it over so badly. Oh, I just realized I could have done this a lot smarter, actually. Hold up. No, never mind. What I'm thinking of is not actually doable. Swap that with the other slacking, I guess. Maybe a little bit. All right. Swap. And you... click double edge, I guess. Because, yeah, actually, that should be a useful thing to do, in theory. It's going after a Mana theory, really, but... Hey. Wait a second. I'm like, which one did that? Okay, yeah. And then swap you out with Explode. Because Blissey should be protecting this turn. Oh no, not Pursuit. Ew. Rude. That didn't do a lot of damage considering. But of course, since I have severely restrictioned Pokemon here, that's a little bit problematic, but yeah. And you send in Kecleon. Swap Slackings and Explode, I guess, roar at Kecleon or something. Because you've got to waste a turn too, buddy. All right, this newly arrived Slacking will use Double Edge here. And I am trying to place... I think the ultimate results are not really any different here, regardless of what happens. Sounds like it should be from a shmup. I said that it had, like, extremely Sega console kind of feelings to me. But I mean, that kind of works too. Could be from a shmup also. Ow. Things are getting a little close here. But yeah, only one of them is going to be able to attempt to use an attack this turn, but that's fine. Since recoil moves damages are not capped by your HP, this is perfectly fine. We go for the haymaker. We self-destruct. Kind of self-destruct, in a sense. That wasn't too bad. It was just slightly irritating to redo anyway. Hey, neat, we got an Ultra Ball. That's helpful. And we have only one more left to use right now. Shedinja and Raticate. Find that winning combination. What do we got? 4-turn double battle. Win the battle to clear. We've got some stuff going on here, huh? No, it didn't say... There was another letter on the end of that. It was C-O-K-I. So it was like cocky, but... Yeah, I guess that almost contains cock, but... Okay, so now... Now what's the deal? Mimic targeting Metacham, I guess? This seems like something that there's going to be a lot of... just kind of a lot, really. Okay, well, Metacham used Detect, and so did Metatite. So, at bare minimum, we can just sort of do this and guarantee that our dig hits. Unfortunately, it's not even 40 damage, so... Raticate out here wasting a bunch of time. And Shedinja using Mimic not really being that helpful either. Because Calm Mind isn't a very effective use of our resources here. I have no other Pokemon. What am I doing? I guess I can use that, and... Dig again? Alright, now it's using Meditate. Meditate at least is a better use of Mimic than Calm Mind would be. So maybe that's a choice. Yeah, we have 4 turns for this. We don't have a lot of time to be screwing around here, so... You see, one thing I would love to be able to do here... Oh, shit! I actually just realized what I can do. This is going to be good. I'm not going to explain it. I'm not going to explain it. You're going to see this for yourself. And you're going to be like, oh, okay. It's technically a thing that we've already done, but slightly different. We'll target Raticate with Mimic, and we will use Endeavor. Targeting, honestly, who effing cares? We can target any of them for it. So that way we can give Shedinja Endeavor. And Shedinja is slower than Raticate, as you've no doubt recognized already. What we're going to do is we're going to have Raticate use Toxic and then use Endeavor on the same Shedinja uses Endeavor on the same target. Oh, god damn you. I wasn't told about this part. But we can put Shedinja to 1 HP anyway. And... oh, wait, no. I think we're still in the clear, actually. Even though these guys are immune to Toxic. Because we'll just... or, well, they're one-time immune to Toxic. Because this one's going to have that as well, right? Yeah. So we just Sandstorm instead, and that will fix the problem. Yeah, which usually Sandstorm is one of those things on Shedinja that it's like, okay, that's not helpful at all, actually. Because Sandstorm would just kill it, usually. Because Shedinja's Wonder Guard does not protect against weather, it does not protect against status. So although Shedinja seems like one of those Pokemon that could make some moves, in a lot of cases, it tends to get given a bad time by just having it get poisoned or burned or anything like that that ignores its funny ability. And we get the Ultra Ball. So after an hour and a half of that, we've finally beaten all of the available battle CDs to us for now. Anything else going on around here in Realgam Tower? I guess now would probably be a good time to save, right? Yeah. Now that we've done some stuff. Generally, it always seems like a good time to save. So now we should be able to go into Phoenix City. Hey, you. That's a really strange thing to say, honestly, but what else is new? Hey, did you have a Poochyena in Coliseum? I don't remember. Well, that's another strange phrase. What's this about a uniform? And there's nobody at the Pokemon Center? I think some shit is going on here. I mean, and also we were sent off to Realgem Tower, which is the main place that... What are their names are... oh god, I can't believe I forgot the main villain's name. I'm doing real smart here. Cypher, Cypher, not Team Cypher, bizarrely enough, and I never really realized that. They had that place as a headquarters. So I suppose it kind of makes sense a little bit that this is a bit of a weird scheme if they were sending us over there. Anything on the TV? Oh yeah, this guy's just talking about cranking his gears. News media being as helpful as usual today, huh? I mean, I guess so. It's just never come up in a Pokemon game before. And we can't even bust in, so... It's time for us to take a bit more of a look around here. There's an item hanging out up here. We should grab that real quick. That seems like it might be pretty important. It's 2 Hyper Potions. And those are pretty strong at this point, so... We can definitely take that. Oh, yeah, I don't know that he's necessarily going to be here, judging by the way things are looking around here in general. Oh, you're bored, huh? Well... We can take a look around and see if we find the... That's a very large and weird-looking record machine. If there were music... Okay, so you made it quite clear. Well, just listen to the BGM, you fool. I mean, what if that was the music disc and we take that and we hand it off to her? No, I think we got to go explore more of the town here. And see if we can find it. The pre-gym. Pre what, though? I mean, you don't really have a lot of... It's not like there's other gyms in this area. It might help keep the kids off the streets or something. I don't know. Oh, yes. What a normal thing to hear from a Pokemon school. That doesn't seem right. In fact, you might even go so far as to say that that seems wrong. I mean, it's not like that hasn't happened before, so... Elevator's not responding. Have we canonically not figured this out ourselves as the player character? Got an Absol. This is one of those Pokemon that all the 12-year-olds like. In fact, I bet Absol has a lot of merchandise. I don't know offhand for sure, but I'd be absolutely shocked if it didn't. It's a dark, edgy, wolf-like Pokemon. It's got a scythe on its face. It's got like a Like the sort of tail can opener thing that Skarmory has going on. It's a dark type. It's black and white. I mean, come on. It's got it all if you're in that age bracket. Well, I guess Type Null is sort of the new version of Absol, isn't it? Oh, you've got a music disc. All right, buddy. I don't know if I trust the bed thing the way this town is. The fact that we're here in Mario RPG Seaside Town. Once it's more popular with furries. Yeah, I guess so. Oh. Yeah, here, do you want this music CD? Air quotes, a music CD? Yeah, I'm sure it... Does this change the background music? Yeah, we get to listen to the music. The guy said, oh yes, this is by some pop idol, and it's... This is definitely not what I would expect out of that. It seems like a bit of a short loop. But now we should be able to sneak our way upstairs. And take a look at the mayor's bathrobe? Yeah, certainly. And Type Null was also made to be... You know, in universe, it's made specifically to fight the Ultra Beast. It was made for what is technically a good purpose. It's just that the Ether Foundation and Lucamine turned insane because of well, it's said to be because of Nihiligo's brain toxin because of reasons, but oh yeah, you somehow were able to finish writing that. Well, that's a pretty fast costume change, actually. And hey, we finally get to switch back to using our own Pokemon. I have basically forgotten what we're rocking here. You got a Seviper and a Snorunt. Those are very unimpressive Pokemon. Unfortunately, I don't have a Psychic type out here to really turn Seviper into paste. But Snorunt is a Shadow Pokemon. I guess just in case you really, really want another Ice type. Well, I do believe I said that I was going to try to get all of these, so let's go for it. Shadow Wave, huh? Ah, I see you're a Dazzle main also. I don't think an attack down would really do much for us in that case, but let's go for it. Yeah, we've got some pretty decent Pokemon on our side anyway. And damn, that Step Viper is fast as fuck, boy. As snack Pokemon go, it's decent. It's no Arbok, though. I think I'd prefer Arbok. Oh, shit, it's Golbat! Oh, yeah! Zap! Again, wrong game, but my brain is not very good. We'll Ice Beam it again. And Teddiursa, you can switch out for this goofy-looking thing. Because maybe Psychic-type damage is more useful here. I don't know. I could have put in Flaffy also, but I guess Flaffy only has Thunder Shock damage-wise. Oh, I was going to say, I thought it was Supersonic for a second. No, it's Screech. Screech! Wait, no, that's no other gag here about the battle coming to a screeching halt. Alright, let's throw a ball at this weird triangle real quick. Fuck it, I'm feeling like Great Ball can get us there. And yes, to have 7 stream, even though you thought it was like 3 yesterday. Listen, these add up quite a bit over time, so you will eventually be able to... That Golbat idol is... That Golbat idol animation, I think, is actually just straight up the same one that they had in Stadium 1 and 2. But it does, in fact, look incredibly stupid, so... I have to give credit where it's due there, that it's definitely a little bit on the bad side. Unfortunately, they seem to have removed Golbat's tongue, like, permanently. Oh, no, it's still there. Never mind. But it doesn't, like, just stand around with it out the way it did in Gen 1. I miss the Gen 1 Golbat sprite quite a bit, actually. What an incredibly fun visual choice. Chill out, man. Let's do that again. And you know what? Let's go for the sand attack, but with tiny amounts of damage approach here, just to give ourselves a little bit more of a chance. Because otherwise it's like, oh, I could pivot. I could switch and I could, you know, not get anywhere. Trying to learn Ancient Power. Ooh, yes. I'll take Ancient Power over Rock Tomb. It's got a little bit more power, and more importantly, it has flat 100% base accuracy. I think I've got to eventually make the Golbat sprite as like a sprite edit for Gen 3 palettes and stuff. I did the silver version Muck today, which is a really good sprite. Honestly, they really did give Muck some incredibly good sprites in the early generations. And then after that, they were just like, I'm a blob. I kind of just look like a big puddle of sick. Ugh. Oh, are we getting straight into another fight after that? Oh, boo earns. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, but also boo. We got a Murkrow and a Pineco to start with here, so... a Golbat cosplay. I mean, that could be in there at some point. Anyway, we're gonna feed Sfeel a super potion. And it's mostly because Aurora Beam is a very useful attack move to have. Whereas Teddiursa, I mean, I don't want Teddiursa to die, but it's not as powerful really as the other one is, as a rule. Slightly unfortunate, but these things happen. Meanwhile, we got Ariados over there who is going to just get burnt down. Burn! Burn to the ground! Burn to the ground! Burn! Burn! Ah! And other such Flame Hyenard-ish phrases. Yeah, see, Pineco is in a position where I think I can just catch it now. And Sfeel, you are not fast, so your turn is going to get ate up by letting me throw a ball here. Hooray! Houndoom once again bringing to pain here. And that guy has died or something. Oh, that's a lot of this guy. I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. Oh, it's the color guard. They did it backwards. Uh-huh, yeah, alright, dude. They're not gonna give any of you guys an administrative position. Are you kidding me? Well, we're gonna have to sneak out of town in order to go heal real quick, so... You know, the hell with you guys. Who are these fucking nerds, right? As we get back on our square with wheels. And pop into the Pokemon Center. Get ourselves some healing. Oh. We're fully healed. What does the XD stand for? The XD stands for... The XD stands for... The people who made this game are big fucking idiots who don't know how to Google that and recognize that it's a very common emoticon even when this game came out. It stands for extra dimension. Do you get it? Do you understand why it's called extra dimension? Because the previous Pokemon RPGs were all 2D and this one is 3D. Do you get it? Do you, it's legitimately, it's the equivalent of calling it Pokemon 3D. Calling it ED couldn't work. I mean, yeah, okay, you're right. That would be the sort of thing that would be like... You might see that nowadays, but it would be like an intentional thing. Like every time some brand on Twitter talks about their public transport and calls it the bussy, it would be like that. You'll notice none of them have come up with Gawk yet, but I digress. Anyway, gags aside, I feel like if you really wanted to lean into that, the idea of like, oh, well, because it's a three-dimensional game as opposed to a 2D one, we're going to call it something that relates to having more dimensions. You could call it something like New Dimension, maybe? That's an option, theoretically. But, hey, don't let me tell you how to run your business. Because I actually think that Pokemon fans should get a good product once in a while. Meanwhile, you look over at TPCI and... You know, you look at... I'm not even going to roast the original performance of Gen 9. I'm going to talk about the fact that once I got that DLC pass, it started performing notably worse on OG Switch. And I'm sure somebody is in the back of their skull thinking right now, well, it performs better on Switch 2. The Switch 2 isn't fucking real, dude. Come on. And besides, weren't all of you fucking clowns going to boycott that thing? Oh, right. You didn't actually do that. And listen, I'm not telling you whether or not you should do that. I'm just saying, stick to your goddamn principles. Assuming you have any. But... you know, that is a pretty big assumption here, to be honest with you. So, you know, fair enough. Anyway, you're making a joke about Pokemon ED did once again remind me of the Pokemon Masters EX mobile game spinoff. And when they were just tagging that on Twitter. And you all know exactly what the tag was. Even the people who like don't specifically remember that. Like, listen, I'm pretty sure there's enough Pokemon pornography anyway that nobody needs an excuse to do it, but also... let me tell you, that was one hell of an excuse to do that. Uh-huh, shut up, dude. He gives me a battle CD. And, you know, listen, say whatever you want about that, but... Oh, do you have an item for us? Yeah, he's got a burn heal. Well, good, we can go take on Blaine. Anyway, I think it was kind of... I think it was kind of, like, really daring of them to name it that when... okay, I'm trying to think who would be, like, funniest to complete the joke here. Do I want to pick an honest answer for a character that I find attractive out of, like, humans? Or do I say something like Getsus? So I guess you can all sit here and decide if I'm actually saying Cyrus or if I'm saying Wick here. You come back and it's... What am I saying? Don't worry about it. If you don't understand what I'm saying here, don't worry about... Don't worry about me about to say that, like, any of the evil team leaders are theoretically attractive, except for, like... Well, I mean, Giovanni, obviously. Don't act like I'm gonna forget Giovanni, but... I mean, Archie in the remake... is kind of named Final Fantasy 14 doing a good tweet twice. That kind of shocks me that that's a thing that ever happened, but I don't know. And yeah, Splatoon's official Twitter asking for tentacle fit. Now that you mentioned that, I do remember that also. And somebody immediately made a comment of like, oh boy, somebody's gonna get quite an upbraiding for this. They didn't use the word upbraid. I'm the one who chose that because I'm a freak, that's why. And I say stupid words like upbraid that you literally only learn so that way you can get a higher score on your SATs. In parentheses, or similar tests. So what I'm saying is that, like, practically everybody in this chat room probably not using words like upbraid on a daily basis. And in fact, neither am I. Asking about mounts and they followed up with O. Yeah, that sounds about right. The Dalmal thread. I don't remember that. I'd ask you for more details, but it is a thing on Twitter, and, like, you know. That's kind of like... I don't even believe in any sort of religious thing, and I'm over here making the sign of the cross at Twitter. Oh, that's good. I love that. That's a very, very good concept. But this will just tell you how much FF14 shit I actually remember. The answer is not truly that much in the greater scheme of it. With a test of your reflexes. Of course it did. It's FF14. Basically, that at this point, it's like somebody's gonna sneak that in somewhere, no matter what. Wow, look at these fucking goons just emerging from their cosplay and back into their goon suits. Oh, that's good. I'm very glad. That's... Again, whoever does the social media for that game is quite good at it, but also I just feel like, boy, I don't want to think about... And yet I do think about playing that game again every once in a while, and then I just go, that seems like a bad choice. What a completely comical animation for how slow it is. By the way, a quick fun story here is that these games recycled the 3D models throughout the entire history of the like main console spin-off RPGs. So all of our Gen 1 Pokemon models are from Stadium. And if we were ever actually to fight this goofy thing over here, we would see that it would be in better quality than those. You know, accounting for the design. For anybody who wants to be like, oh, well, Absol is not as good of a design as Tauros or something. Which, to be fair, I do like Tauros quite a bit. I just was picking that one because... I don't know. Why the heck not? Wow, okay, dude. This fucking guy. He has not been given the whole memo here. Also, like, I don't remember Justy, but I don't think he was a snooty guy, but I don't know, dude. You think that that's actually a way that will get you anywhere in this particular subject? You may not be very bright. Oh, boo! We got poisoned. Oh. Fucking rude. It's alright, it'll be fine. We'll just have to go and go to a Pokemon Center or something. We got a Tentacool here. Finally, this guy's got a decent Pokemon. A Zubat. That's what we're talking about. I like that guy. Mostly. Oh, I was pressing the wrong button. Oops. Yeah, get out of here, dude. Gives us another battle CD. Now, we're still missing 4 of the Axum Rangers here. We're gonna have to find them in a second. But first, I'm traveling all the way across the world map here. And guess what? We don't take poison damage when traveling this way. We take it when we walk around in the 3D space, but using the world map? Nope, because you don't technically take steps. But it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, does it? Well, I'm enjoying it so far. To be perfectly honest with you, I think that Coliseum and Gale of Darkness are probably games that appeal to a fairly specific subset of Pokemon fans by virtue of the fact that your party options are extremely restricted. But, I mean, yeah, other than that, it's pretty good. As for what happened to this franchise, Nintendo wanted to make more money off of it and decided to tell Game Freak, hey, yeah, you've got to squat out a game for us, like, once a year. So that way all these stupid children don't forget about us and go to playing, like, Yokai Watch or something. You know, a thing that'll never fucking happen. If anyone here is from... If anyone from level 5 is here watching this, stop trying to make Yokai Watch a fucking thing, dude. It is not going to work. Especially not in America. Like, I'm sure that there's probably a lot of, like, Japanese fans of Yokai Watch. In fact, I knew a couple of people who were into Yokai Watch before it made its way over to the US. And by that, I mean, like, 2. I'm as surprised as you are. But, genuinely, Yokai Watch hits this certain place of being far too Japanese to actually really work in the US, I think. And just generally being kind of like, hey, we have Pokemon at home. Actually, that's not even true. That's not even true. Yokai Watch is more like, we have Pokemon at home at home. There's already plenty of We Have Pokemon at Home series that exist that have made their way into the US. Like, be honest with me, is that not how people treat Digimon in the US? And I agree with you that it's not fair, but that's kind of where we're at. So, yeah, my feelings about Yokai Watch are not related to any level of getting triggered over an FF14 event, but also that didn't really make it a whole lot better, now did it? I just think that Yokai Watch is a little bit too tied into the fact that it is, like, objectively, it's literally called Yokai Watch. The monsters are all literally based on yokai, which is, you know, extremely Japanese. It's not going to have the same kind of mainstream appeal that it would in the US, because as much as there are quite a few Pokemon that are very directly based on yokai, they also are able to be, like, parlayed into something a little bit more universal as a rule. Like, yeah, basically. Bigfoot and Mothman. I mean, I'd play a game where I'd play, like, a monster game where you get to capture Bigfoot and Mothman. I'd be okay with that. But yeah, it is kind of like... Think about how... Like, think about Meowth, right? Meowth is based on the Maneki Neko, I think is the way that you pronounce that. I may have the order of the letters wrong. I mean, hey, Meowth is a pretty good Pokemon. So... But you can just kind of associate that for, like, extremely American versions. For, like, you know, people who are Americans who are not very into multiculturalism. To just kind of go, yeah, it's a cat. Which, it is a cat. I mean, obviously. Shit, Sherlock. But there's a couple of others, too. I don't remember a whole lot of what I'm thinking of offhand, for which I apologize, but just as a rule, most Pokemon are something that you can sort of parlay into being like, okay, it's an animal or it's a household object or something like that. Yeah, meanwhile, all of the things in Yokai Watch are very, very specifically that sort of thing. That it would take a lot of work to make that work for somebody who's not already, like, super into it. And technically there is an audience for Yokai Watch in the US. It's just that it's not kids. Mostly not kids, anyway. There, you know, in fact, there is technically a child audience there, too. It's mostly that it's... Look, I don't want to be the person who... I want to be careful about how I say this, because also the audience is definitely not white kids. You know, I don't want to make it sound like I was earlier saying that, you know, that's something that shouldn't be brought over, because do whatever. But part of it really is, to me, that the primary audience for Yokai Watch here in America is largely going to be teenagers who are still into kids games, who are a little bit more aware of Japanese culture. Because there just isn't really something that would teach our younger audience, our younger people here in America. They're not very likely to learn about that no matter where they come from. So, you know, I could say, oh yeah, Japanese immigrant kids would love it. But, you know, that may not even necessarily be true. And we can say that there's a cultural problem there, and I would not necessarily disagree with you, but that's a whole other to-do. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you, though. Like, something aimed at a younger audience where you collect cryptids. Fresno Nightcrawler, absolutely. Let me go capture a pair of pants. And I mean that in a completely unironic way. Let me go capture the pants. Oh shit, actually, you know what's really funny about all that is I went and I looked over at my Blue Sky page while I was in the middle of this fight loading. Yeah, I know, don't multitask on stream. Literally, the most recent post on there was a picture of Megaten Mothman. So I'm very, very pleased with that. That's quite funny to me. Yeah, no, the Fresno Nightcrawler is extremely funny for a very wide variety of reasons. And the fact that it is just a walking pair of pants is pretty high up there. Actually, and this is a completely deranged thing to bring up, but the NES game Monster Party had an enemy walking around that was an enemy that was just a walking pair of pants. Do you think they saw the future? No, they did not see the fucking future. Get out of here. Don't even suggest that to me. I shouldn't even suggest that to you. That's a bad thing for me to do. Anyway, this person's name is one letter away from being Elon, which is very unfortunate. They clearly saw the same haunted pants. Oh, yeah, okay. You know what? That makes sense. Never mind. Didn't we just watch... over the weekend, didn't we just watch Elon die in a movie? Oh, wait, no, that was somebody else that Elon wishes he was. Hey, can you get burned also? Yes. Synchronize had no effect on. Yeah. Now, burn is a little bit of a risky status to give to a random enemy Pokemon here, but here's the good thing. The good thing is that it does actually give us a catch multiplier in this generation. Excuse me. So, back in the day, up until a certain point, and I'm pretty sure this was bugged in Gen 1, because of course it was, only Paralysis, Sleep, and Freeze would give any capture buff, any capture rate buff, and it would be 50% extra for Paralysis and double for Sleep and Freeze. Starting in either Gen 2 or Gen 3, you also get the 50% for a Pokemon that's burned or poisoned. As for the Afro Man there, Retro, well, we saw him last session, but it's probably going to be a bit before we run into him again. I know that we get a couple more plot fights with him. So... Yes. Yes, now that you mention it. Otherwise, in order to fight him, we basically have to fail to capture a Shadow Pokemon. And I'm trying not to do that. Anyway. Let's go and heal, because at this point, I'll gladly do that without using items. Because, hey, they give this to us for free, and it's just a mild inconvenience at best. If we're continuing to not be in a dungeon, we may as well. Also, does that healing machine have a screensaver on it? It sure does. I mean, it also has Pikachu eyes for some reason. Which reminds me of this one gag from a video by Reverend, who was doing a whole thing about how, like, massive Pokemon is as a license. And he said something about a Pikachu dialysis machine. And it was a dialysis machine, but with Pikachu's face photoshopped over the screen. Obviously, it's not a real object, but it was a very funny bit, at least to me, just for the sheer absurdity of it. And the eyes on the healing machine made me think of that. Oh, hey, did your teacher disappear? That's a good question, Mega Man. What is happening? Oh, I wouldn't know about that. I definitely don't play things very safe, do I? I just go back and heal. And here we got a Zubat and a Remoraid. You can do some of this, and... yeah, you don't have... Do you not have a water move, Remoraid? God, I was gonna say, are we fighting through confusion? We're fighting through confusion. I didn't even look. Roselia, it's so tiny. Like, we might need a minute to actually get a good look at it, but this thing is just comically small. It's truly ridiculous when it just gets up like that. Oh, look, it's another Dazzle main for some reason. I don't know, Dazzle actually seems like a pretty good character to main, so, to be fair. Credit where it's due. Here, Teddy Ursa, you have a built-in turn-wasting ability, so... Oh, go back to heal again. Yeah, what's your deal here? Ah, yes, go ahead and just tell me where we're headed for this, huh? Smart idea. I don't care how arrogant you are. That's dumb. That's dumbass shit. Come on. Meanwhile, this guy's got, like, real glass cannon Pokemon here. And, yeah, Sneasel opening with Fake Out. That makes sense a little bit, actually. Oh, God. And he uses Double Team. What a jackass. Mischievous, at least we have a way of dealing with that. I have quite a lot of ways of dealing with that, actually. Nice. We didn't have to worry about double team at all, actually. Alright. I got Goofy Cat here. Oh, hey! Shadow Meowth. Excellent. I do like Meowth. It's a pretty good Pokemon. Oh, God. Oh, Confusion is just a really bad time for Flareon. You are not going to survive the winter, or anything else for that matter, dude. Yeah, you're dying to Astonish. Ugh. Rip. Oh. You know what? Get out here, Flaffy. Hey, good. We managed to get Meowth skipping a turn. Let's throw a Great Ball. I think we're good to catch this now. Probably. Probably? Probably. Probably. Oh, I get it. It's because you suck. Oh, well. What else is new out of these guys, really? Do you know anything about a basement key? You sure don't. Well, dang. Anything going on in here? Yeah, we gotta fight this guy. Makes sense, I guess, but... Torkoal could probably take a hit or two from this, to be fair, so... Oh, there's another shadow. Unfortunately, Swinub is ice ground, which is a very seriously problematic type pair for me. Because I don't have much that really just kind of only hurts that a little bit. Power might be able to get us there. Not too much problem, because ground, I think, resists rock. Maybe it doesn't. Well, it just doesn't do enough damage to really be a huge problem, so that's good. This might be enough HP to get us there. Hope so, anyway. I think there's a healing machine in here. There is not. That's only at the Pyrite Coliseum, I guess. So, yeah, time to go heal. Okay, let's swap our party around so Flaffy can come up to the front now. Okay, alright, so we just barge in and things will be okay, probably. And by that I mean we'll get in some fights. Oh, that's Spiro's shadow, apparently. Well, alright then. That's actually kind of a tough catch because Spearow is like an entire glass jaw of a Pokemon. And sure, level 22, which is above the level it evolves at, BT dubs. But that means this thing is definitely still going to be incredibly frail. Oh, gross. He's got an AoE confusion attack. Well, at bare minimum, we should be able to chunk this thing pretty hard. Please just... No, damn it. Well, whatever. It's at half health. We can just throw Pokeballs, really. And the odds of it missing, even at this point, pretty much 0. And here's another battle, back to back. We got Shymeko and we've got Stantler. Let's do this, I think. I mean, Stantler is actually quite the heavy hitter, and it's pretty fast, especially for this point. We just are not doing a ton of damage to it right now, apparently. Well, pivot out for Houndoom. Oh god, it's using Uproar. That's a good source of damage dealing here. Oh, I don't have Bite. I thought I only had Feint Attack. And a Shadow Grimer. Good. Glad that we're having all these turns of full para. It's making my life easier here. Holy shit, that was a lot of damage. But also, I think that's because it was a crit, so... Yikes. This should be enough to put us into a better place here. And it's using Shadow Hold, I think is the move. Okay, we're in a good place to capture this now. Like, this should almost be guaranteed at this point. So let's back up and, again, we're going to go heal. Once again. Now we should be nearly done with this area, right? At least we should be, mostly? In theory? I mean, we got a couple more of these goofballs here, but... Oh, this must be a big bad dude. This has got to be someone important here. And no, the Master Greevil, huh? Imagine being named Greevil. Yeah, who are you anyway? It's okay, these guys love doing violence, so, like, that's not going to be very helpful. Egrog, huh? Mr. Snaddle, holy shit. Your name is Snaddle. Oh my good lord. I mean... Yes, the names in Ore are... like, just chosen at random out of a Scrabble bag, basically. But, oh boy! The Cypher's generals all have really stupid names. And by generals, I mean they're called admins, you fool. But, whoops. So at least Metal Claw should give us some good damage against Graveler. I wish it was perfect accuracy, but whatever. This is how this goes. Ouch. That was quite painful. Well, alright, I guess I'll switch you out for Spheal should probably be fine. Although I think we just took super effective damage, so that's a bit of a risk. Oh, wow. Okay. Did that switch get predicted? Also, Gulpin is the fastest on the field because this entire field is composed of, well, really, really underwhelming Pokemon. Meanwhile, Graveler, you are going to die. And that para is pretty nice. We only just lived with Spheal there. Rough. Rough stuff. Oh, hey, look, it's a Gen 1 Pokemon that is never really put to any real use, and it's our big shadow target here. Sheesh. Well, Spheal's about to die anyway, so I'm gonna... Oh god, yeah, especially since Seel is now easily the fastest Pokemon on the field. That ain't great. I didn't even think about that. I'm not pleased with this development. Meanwhile, we're going to go hog wild here and use a Thunder Shock on the Steel, which, I mean, it's still a Thunder Shock, but I still feel like there's at least some risk of death there. And that ain't great, but we got to do what we got to do for this, right? Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah, I told you there was some risk of death involved there. Well, that's okay. This should be safe to actually capture, so... We should be good to go here. Low-key, Seel is one of my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon, but... I never really get any excuse to use it. It always shows up super late. And it's a water type, and it's kind of mid. But hey, we successfully captured Seel. Cameron. Unfortunately, we still have to fight the boss right after this. We don't have a chance to sneak off and heal. And he's leading with Lantern and Quagsire. Oh, I do not have any grass moves whatsoever. Fuck. I dislike the position I'm in. Well, at least this is a very slow field, so we might be able to actually live an attack here. Oh yeah, especially with that aiming. Good choice. That's not ideal targeting, but it happens. Well, we managed to land the para, so that's good. That leaves Teddiursa as the fastest Pokemon on the field, which is beyond hilarious. Unfortunately, since we know Lanturn uses that move that I've forgotten the name of because I'm stupid. Because it uses Facade. That thing is very much a pretty huge concern because it could probably do some huge damage to us now. Now that it's paralyzed. Our Pokemon are going to be dropping pretty frequently, I believe. On the other hand, I'll send in Baltoy to debuff its accuracy a little bit. Lunatone is our shadow Pokemon for this battle. Unfortunately for us, Lunatone levitates. It's also got a unique weather move called Shadow Sky, which you just saw. Shadow Sky is kind of like a variant of the Sandstorm type of weather, in that it damages all non-shadow Pokemon every turn for 5 turns. As you've probably guessed, this is a unique weather condition for this game. It doesn't exist anywhere else. But in some odd way, it does remind me a little bit of this concept, this glitch called Acid Rain. I think because it's kind of type agnostic in terms of its damage that it deals. Are you getting the feeling, once this game drops on Switch Online, everyone will be evolving that Teddiursa into a National Ribbon Ursa Luna? Tom KCR, that is very likely. I could certainly see that happening, and that seems kind of understandable. And oh, holy shit, this thing does a lot of damage. Ooh, oh boy. That's pretty rough. We're going to be in bad shape here, I think. Oh, thank goodness that attack missed. That's good. I may have to just move into either killing this thing now and having to take it later from Mirror B, or I may have to just start throwing balls at it very early. Like to a truly absurd extent, really. Because we have several problematic fellows on the field here to deal with. And in fact, I'm just going to go straight into chucking an Ultra Ball at Lunatone. We've really only scratched this thing's paint and paralyzed it, so my odds don't look good. But we're giving it a shot anyway. I told you my odds weren't looking good. Ow. Well, Baltoy, I was going to say Baltoy lived somehow, but it's not living through the weather. Nor is it living through the facade that actually hit it. I think at least Lunatone, I think at least Lanturn also dies from the weather this turn. So there's that to look forward to. Until I suddenly discover that no, actually, it has like 1 HP or something. Because that is how that would go, right? Yeah, it's just barely alive. Don't like that. Well, if this thing lives through this attack, then I guess we can pray for the 25%. Otherwise, we're either dead or going to have to catch this through Mirror B. Yes, it does. I actually thought that was main campaign, but I forgot because it's been a very long time. I don't think Houndoom lives this, the weather, unfortunately. Oh, just barely lives. That is a huge shock. The upside of things right now is that cast form is not a huge threat to me, in my opinion. Although I don't know if Shadow Sky is about to expire or not. Plus, it probably still will target Houndoom. This doesn't feel like a sure thing either, but it's much more likely than it was earlier. All right, come on, target Flareon, please. Oh, it did, and Shadow Sky should be expiring soon. Hopefully. Or possibly, yeah, right now, actually. Yes. Okay, 2 fire attacks into Metang. That might be enough to get the kill. I have a feeling that both of our Pokemon are fast enough to actually pull this off. I mean, certainly Houndoom, obviously, but Flareon as well, probably. It shouldn't die from Castform's Weather Ball. Oh, never mind, it did somehow. That's... Wow, that was unexpected. And then we died to Thunder Punch. Well... Yeah, I think we have to redo that fight now, but also the Shadow Lunatone should be gone. Yeah. We died at one other point earlier in the game against the guy at the top of ONBS who had the Mawile, and the story just kept going. That's the same name as your cousin. Well, that's kind of funny, although I guess there's got to be a lot of Michaels out there, right? So, but neat anyway. Nevertheless. Certainly things are probably a little rough for that kind of matchup for boys with Black and White 1. There's not exactly a whole lot of Hilberts out there, I don't think. At least not here in the States. Anywho, we lost that fight, and we lost the Shadow Lunatone, but it's been about 3 hours of stream, so I probably should pack it in.